Number 5 in our post-spring ACC power rankings, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets coming in at plus 1,200 to win the ACC championship. So pretty big gap there between the top 4 and the rest of the conference. But Georgia Tech, looking at the odds, pretty clearly the 5th team consensus-wise. They brought in the number 29 portal class, according to 247 Sports. Most importantly, Haynes King is back. Like you mentioned, man, the quarterback play, they may not be the sexiest names. They may not be, the flashiest guys, but experience. I mean, a lot of these guys are bringing it, whether it's coming back or bringing through the portal, they're bringing
Proven production
quarterbacks. Yeah. Haynes King is back. Jamal Haynes is back. They bring that, Georgia Tech running attack. It's not the Paul Johnson Navy attack, but it's just like Haynes King, if he can stay healthy, can just pound you. And if not, it's Jamal Haynes. And then they lost Eric Singleton Jr. to Auburn, but they replaced him with Eric Rivers from Memphis. So they've got weapons on offense for Brent Key.
Yeah. And Brent Key's, he is the definition of kind of that Chris Kleiman that we talk about, the, Kyle Whittingham's, the guys that do more with less.
Yeah.
Brent Key is a hell of a coach. If he was the head coach of one of the top tiered programs, he would. I don't think that those programs would have any drop off whatsoever. The dude is just a flat out ball coach, man. He's a G. Love the staff that he's hired around him. Be interesting to see Tyler Santucci, who was the defensive coordinator for them, moved on to head of the NFL to the Baltimore Ravens. But his ability to replace coaches and the things he's done with his staff overall in general has been flawless. And like you said, if Haynes King can stay healthy, with his leadership ability, his overall dual threat ability, his just production, man, is just jumps off the page again from a running perspective and passing perspective. I just think Georgia Tech also, too, getting a little bit of a schedule break. They had one of the toughest schedules in the country last year. So I think that Georgia Tech getting a little bit of a break in the schedule, it wouldn't shock me at all. Again, if we're sitting here, because not all schedules are created equal, especially in these larger conferences, wouldn't shock me at all if we're sitting here, in November and there's Georgia Tech in the thick of it competing for a spot to possibly go play in the ACC championship game. So I feel pretty good about having Georgia Tech at 5. I agree with you. The teams that we had in the top 4 are kind of separated themselves a little bit. But again, it wouldn't shock me at all for Georgia Tech to be sitting there at the end of the year with a possibility of competing for a chance to play for an ACC championship.
Yeah, I know we aren't looking at schedules a lot, but I still don't like the fact that they're playing that Georgia Tech-Georgia game in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium and not at Georgia Tech at the end of the year.
I agree, man. I agree. They should be playing that at Bobby Dodd. And it shouldn't be a deal where they're playing that on a neutral site and then they play in Athens. They should play that thing in Bobby Dodd. I don't care if there's more red and black in the stands at Bobby Dodd, whatever. That's just still should be played on their home field. I agree 100%.
Is our boy back at OC for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets?
I think he is. Yeah, man. Yeah.
He showed out last year. Obviously, that first game everybody remembers in Ireland against Florida State, which, regardless of what Florida State turned out to be, that was a solid win for Georgia Tech, to start the year off right. And then, obviously, what they did against Miami and multiple other times. And he did with Zach Pyron, too. Like, he had to go with Zach Pyron against Notre Dame. Obviously, that wasn't successful. Like, Haynes King missed some games. Like, Buster Faulkner is a very underrated offense coordinator.
Yes, he is. And he had some suitors after him this past year to possibly try to steal him away from Georgia Tech to be their OC. He had some of the smaller schools, like in your Group G5 programs, that were possibly looking at him for head coaching jobs. But I don't blame him for coming back with Jamal Haynes and Haynes King being back. His stock is only going to continue to rise. He's definitely one of those OCs, man, that just finds ways to put points on the board, finds ways to move the football. They were surgical, man, surgical in that Miami game. Yep. That's a great example of they did a wonderful job of playing keep away from Cam Ward in that Miami offense. You're sitting there in that second half, and Miami's sitting there kind of like, we better score. The pressure that they put on you because you better score on everybody. It's like the triple option offenses. It's like they control the clock and play keep away from your offense. And obviously the performance that they had in Athens on Thanksgiving weekend. That's a game that everybody remembers that could have gone either way. I know that if you're pulling for the underdog, there was a lot of people that were just heartbroken for the Jackets after that game, the way that they played in Athens at night. I think that was on like Friday night,
Yep.
Thanksgiving weekend. But the way that offense played, just remarkable. And couldn't agree more, man, that they are going to find ways to move the football and score points again this year.